But who likes Hershey chocolate bars? The chocolate's out the wrapper, y'all. That probably wasn't the right phrase to use here. This probably wasn't the right phrase. I mean, she's not chocolate, and I will call her she. I do honor the pronouns as long as you are consistent with it. Fae Johnstone tweets, the chocolate's out of the wrapper. The surprise is over, y'all. Fae Johnstone is honored to be featured in this campaign by Hershey's Canada for International Women's Day, alongside 4 brilliant sisters and change makers. And here is the announcement.
My name is Fae Johnstone. I'm the executive director of Wisdom to Action. We can create a world where everyone is able to live in public space as their honest and authentic selves. See the women changing how we see the future at Hershey.
It's interesting to see a biological man include themselves in the we with women. And that's where we are on International Women's Day. What do these days even mean? It's just, we got too many days, I think. I don't need Black History Month, and I don't need International Women's Day. And if you disagree with that, then help me understand why on International Women's Day, Hershey's Canada has a biological male saying we. I'm proud to stand by we, all these women here. This is nothing personally against Fae Johnstone. I got no beef against you. You lived your life. You never came at me. I don't have any beef with you. I'm talking about the general principle of, I think it's time to cancel these days. It's jump the shark.
Fonzie jumping over a shark.
We have biological men celebrating as a part of it International Women's Day. I think the day's over now. I mean, it's just like Rachel Dolezal celebrating Black History Month, if that were to happen. Here's Black History Month, and today's brought to you by a white woman, Rachel Dolezal. That's why I'm good with all the identity stuff. I actually would prefer to, because I think there are differences between men and women that can be celebrated identity-wise without being toxic. I think that is legitimate, different than color of skin. I don't do any of the color of the skin stuff to celebrate. I'm a Black male, you're an Asian male, we got to celebrate our different day. Nah, that don't make any sense to me. Now, if you talk about the country you're from, say you're from China, I'm from Jamaica, hypothetically. We can talk about our different cultures from our countries, but I don't need the color of the skin involved. And if we're both Americans, then we can just talk about being Americans. What you like? You like football or not? What do you like to do? But it's the days are done. I don't need Women's Day. I don't need Trans Day. I don't need Pride Month. I don't need White People Month. I don't need Black People Month. It doesn't mean anything if you've got a biological man celebrating International Women's Day. Stop it. And you know how that's presented to you. It's presented to you in a way where celebrate this with us or you're a bigot. Do you think you would have a chance at being hired by Hershey's if you went on record with your real name saying, I've got no beef with Fae Johnstone, but I'm not down with a biological man representing Women's Day? It doesn't make sense to me. You think you would get hired by Hershey's Canada? Comply, agree, celebrate, or you're a bigot. Those are your choices. That is why we refer to it as at least I do, neo-Marxism. It's just the dichotomy of two distinct choices. You can't be in the middle on this. They force you to one side or the other. If you're on the wrong side, you're the enemy, you get canceled. In a weird way, this was pointed out by Canon Hotep, who's just on with Timcast, man. That's his channel. He's really gotten really good with his channel. Shout out to Canon. I don't know him. I just like his work. He's gotten really, really good. I like he's very insightful. And I don't know if he came up with this, but he was like, damn, that looks like James O'Keefe. Does Fae Johnstone look like a trans James O'Keefe to you? I thought it was funny because it looks like a young trans James O'Keefe. And we were joking in the comments like, oh, that's how James got him. He got him. He could go on Grindr. He could go on Tinder. He could go anywhere and do that undercover work. I see you working, James. Is that your secret name, Fae Johnstone? That's crazy how much to me that looks like a young trans James O'Keefe. But I didn't get to see his live, but that was his thumbnail for his live. It's always wrapped up in a good cause. And I think I'm not going to question, I don't know Faye, I'm not going to question Faye's intent. That's irrelevant to my take. Faye says we still have a long way to go in the fight to end misogyny, patriarchy, and that takes a lot of balls, I would say, no pun intended, to say we have a long way to go in the fight to end patriarchy when it's a man celebrating International Women's Day. I probably would have left that one out. And gender-based violence. I hope this campaign helps give more young women and girls role models and possibility models and shows them how we can change the world. We can change the world together. I don't know if that was a typo or not, but that's where you're at. Some people had trouble taking this topic seriously. I'm going to need you guys to stop joking. Come on, Maze. You're better than this. Maze Moore. I'm just joking. I'm a big fan of Maze Moore, a great memer, tweeter. Maze Moore says, nowadays life is like a box of chocolates. You never know which one will have nuts. Okay, I don't know what he means by that. Moving along, women were chiming in, and women probably have to speak up more than me. Women, Coco says, fixed it for you. Not a her or a she. Not a her or a she bar. To be fair to Hershey, they did have biological women involved as well. That would have been crazy if it was only that. But women, they had some serious takes too. I think you have to hear them out. And I'll give you my takeaway in a second. Womanhood is not a costume, charade, or feeling. You'll never be a woman ever. That's not coming from me. That's coming from feedback from a woman. And I think that's something that Hershey, if you're really about inclusion and loving type company, you would hear that feedback from both sides. That's not coming from me. That's from somebody who looks to be a woman on this is a good moment for people to be respectful and to speak out. And speak out what your truth is. And Hershey, I'll give the same feedback to Hershey that I gave to Disney. If you really were about what you proclaim to be about, what I would expect from you is for you to say, we want to include a trans woman as a part of this campaign. We hear all your feedback. If you don't believe in our actions here, we're not against you. This is why we believe it. This is why we believe it's positive. We don't want to go against anybody. They never say that. They never make a statement like that to say, hey, if this is against your beliefs, or hey, we have this other day for people who believe, I don't know if you want to call it Christianity Day, whatever, I don't know what it is, but you would have a day to balance it out. You would be able to come and say, hey, it's just a chocolate bar. We don't care if you're a biological woman, man, whatever, trans, just get a Hershey Kisses on us. Same thing as Disney. We don't care. We shouldn't care, in my opinion, shouldn't care what color, what anything you are. We make movies to sit down and for everyone to be entertained for 2 hours. That's all we do. And we are going to put diversity because we believe in that, but no hate to anybody. No, you don't get that because it's not about that. It is about hate. They put it in a good package to make it tough for you to speak against it, but they are the hateful ones.